Welcome everyone to the very first episode of Gustin Time Plus. I am your host James, and before we get started, I want to say thank you for supporting Gustin Time. It means a lot to me that you have subscribed and given your hard-earned money to know more about things that we talk about on the show. In this first installment, we're going to be talking about UFOs. Not modern-day UFOs, not ancient UFOs, but all of it. We're going to go back as far as we possibly can and look at some things that could be considered UFOs in the sky. We're going to go through time. We're going to look at the phenomenon as a whole and not specifically case by case. We're going to see how UFOs have changed over time. Why would I do this? Because there's a lot of people who didn't really start looking at UFOs until December of 2017, when Leslie Kean and Ralph Blumenthal wrote an article for the New York Times saying that the U.S. government had been studying UFOs for a long time. They wrote this article with the help of people like Senator Harry Reid and Lou Elizondo, both of which have now become staples in the UFO field. But for people like me, this wasn't news. I've been looking at UFOs since I was 7 years old and had my first experience. Even the term UFO is outdated now. And even if we call them UAPs, that term has changed in the last 10 years. Originally, UAP stood for Unidentified Aerial Phenomenon. Now, it's Unidentified Anomalous Phenomenon, as to better encompass things that aren't just in the air, such as transmedium UFOs, which seem to be able to go from space to air to water without changing velocity and having no impact on its surroundings. In other words, they're frictionless. What does this mean? What is this phenomenon? Is it visitors from another planet? Is it someone who's already been on this planet longer than the human race? Does it come from another dimension? I'm not going to answer any of those questions because, honestly, they're all possible. What we're going to do is take a valid look, an intense look, throughout time at humans' interactions with what we call UFOs and UAPs. What does it mean culturally, spiritually, religiously? What does it mean from a national security standpoint, from a technology standpoint? We're going to start in ancient times, when writing was just invented, before there was an alphabet. We're going to go all the way through to present day, where I'm going to show you some of the documents, files, videos, and photographs that have been released from the Department of War in this new UFO disclosure program from the U.S. government. We're going to talk about some of the most infamous names in the UFO field. Some of them I've met, some of them were my friends, and some of them are no longer with us. I'm not going to answer the UFO question during this series. That's not my goal. My goal is to provide you with information that can help you answer your own questions. Maybe even make you ask more questions. That's the whole point of this. It's not to answer what's going on. I don't think any one person will ever be able to do that. But if we collectively think about the history of UFOs and mankind, and we put our minds together, perhaps at some point we can come up with a physical, emotional, and concrete answer to what these things are. Because I don't think it's just nuts and bolt craft flying around in the sky. That could be part of it. I'm pretty sure that's not everything. So buckle up your seatbelt, strap in, pour yourself a drink, get your pipe out, whatever. And join me for this ride as we start to look at unidentified flying objects, unidentified aerial phenomenon, unidentified anomalous phenomenon, and the human mind. Thank you, and let's get started.